who is now dead, rest his soul, she asked Malam Ilia to come and teach the children according to the teachings of Malam Gobir, and which he agreed because what else would he do? So he went on and he taught them. And while he was teaching these children, he found out that perhaps DJ liked him due to, I mean, it's obvious when someone likes someone, it's just very obvious. There are things they do, there's a certain way they behave, and so eventually he married her. And there was a word he used, I quote, he said, this was not the hot love of youth, but the slow, mature love of a man who had learnt a lot about life, right? This still talks about change, growth in a man's life. The first woman he married was, a beauty to behold, someone who made the blood rush to his loins. But with DJ, it wasn't lost, it wasn't this hot love, it was a man who wanted peace, a man who appreciated a woman who brought peace to his life, even though she wasn't as beautiful or as alluring as his first wife. So after marrying DJ, they had a child. Sorry, DJ was pregnant. The child hadn't been born yet. And then um some children at that school asked him a question about what he would do if a man killed his wife. Once again, they provoked him. They had obviously heard the story from somewhere. And as insensitive as children can be, because I don't believe they did that innocently. I believe they did that with the intent to rile him up. So as thoughtless or as intentional as they were, they went to ask him about his life, his life story, basically his life situation. What would you do if a man killed your wife? Okay. And it got him riled up again and he left. He didn't even know how to answer. He was in such a mood. He brought up all the memories, all the pain, and he left. He left DJ again, which is no different from Usman leaving his Indian wife and child and tiny baby. Just that in this case, DJ had not yet given birth, but he left her without a word. He didn't say goodbye. He just stood up and left. You can see that Malam Ilia and Usman are not too different, or let me just say they are similar in some ways. So he left that area where he was teaching the students, and then he went on to join the army again, but not really as a fighter, but as an experienced soldier, I guess. So a doctor of sorts. He listens to their problems, and just trying to practice what he learned from Malam Gobir in terms of, maybe I'll call it mental medicine, right? So the first time he met Usman was at this Cameroonian campaign, because they went to Cameroon. They were not in Nigeria at that point. They went to French based areas to assist them in the war and all that. So um after meeting Usman at the Cameroonian campaign, Usman once again escaped. Usman was like, this boy, this man, is it you? You are still here, you are still alive, you're still following me. And Usman was able to escape. He kind of set fire to the house where they were both in after escaping, and Madam Ilia lost his chance at revenge once more. Finally, after many days, years had passed, Madam Ilia decided to board a train. And it is in this train now that the story actually takes place. It is in this train, this same train, that he meets his nemesis Usman once again. And what is Usman doing? Usman is now serving tables and on the train, which is another angle of growth in a man's life. Look at someone who used to be a terrorist, someone who used to have, control and influence of men, or someone who used to have a kind of reputation, which I think he bought with money, or maybe with lies, because at some point he lied he was the son of an emir. So now that same big Usman, terrorist Usman, feared Usman, is now doing what? Serving tea and coffee on the train. How funny can life get? So this time around, Malam Ilya says, you know what? I've caught you. You're not going anywhere. Today, not today. We shall see. We shall see who will win. It's either I die or you die. This ends here. And so with that mindset, he runs after Malam Usman, who is this time around is also again scared and looking for a way to run. I wonder, for all the terror he inflicted, I do wonder why he never actually engaged Malam Ilia in combat hand to hand. I think maybe he knew he was wrong, or maybe he had always been a coward and he always depended on his minions, slaves, men, to do all the things that he took credit for. So while he ran, Madam Ilia, well, it was so unfortunate that Usman died due to the bridge hitting his head and him falling off the bridge in the train. That is, an, in between two coaches, right? But in the struggle that ensued during that time, Madam Ilia's knife, which was in his breast pocket, also injured him. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And it was that injury now that he was facing, the pain, the agony that he was facing, that he decided to tell his story to the boy who was sitting down across him on the train. And the worst twist was now the boy, who is Hassan, by the way, the young man who he was talking to, happened to be DJ's son, which he only found out about, what, a few seconds to his death. And it's just heartbreaking to an extent, but I think it speaks about a bigger message in life, that some some things some things are better left to, well, God or to karma, whatever you believe in. There is no point wasting your life over some things. You killed Usman, and for what? Did you enjoy it? Were you happy after doing that? Did you get Zara back? Did you get your left arm back? You did not. You lost everything. You didn't even have the chance to see your son, who you've been, right there in the train with all this while. Of course, he didn't know that Hassan was his son, and Hassan also didn't know that Malam Ilya was his father until maybe he mentioned DJ. So, all for what? You go through all that revenge for what? You lose yourself in the process. Some things you just leave for karma. I'm sure if, well, I'm not sure, but I assume if Madam Ilya had left Usman and had not been so hot on his trail, Usman might have been captured by the British a long time ago. Or something might have happened to him. Maybe while he was selling contrabands, the police would have arrested him or something. But it was unfortunate that it had to end the way it ended. So this is a very touching story. It doesn't end in a happy note. I think it leaves the readers with kind of empty feelings. You're not happy, you're not sad, you're just like, why and what just happened. Anyway, that's the end of our book review on the Passport of Mallam Ilia. And if you have any questions or comments you want to add to this, you can put them down, in the comment section or in the chat. Just put them down or ask me. I would answer. If you want to join our discussion next time, also let me know so that we can have more opinions and more voices on this. Thank you very much.